A lot of people hate this game, because they think that the combat has ruined it. Also, a lot of people say that the combat is fantastic, unique, and the game is a hidden gem. But why is this big contradiction among tactical RPG fans? Well, Vandal Hearts II introduced a completely new battle system, which was a mix of real-time and turn-based combat which I'd never seen before in any tactical RPG. I started the game with an open mind to experience this, and I have to say that first it was quite weird, but in a way I seen the advantages of this system. However, around 10 hours I stopped playing Vandal Hearts II. Why? Because the game is bad? No, I would not say that. You know what, let's take a look together. What makes Vandal Hearts II stand out, why it's divided the fans, and whether it's still worth your time today, even I start playing it. Okay, just hold on for a sec, let me just quickly fire up the time machine to take you back to the year of 1999. What's up my fellow retro gamers out there? Welcome on the Backlog Quest, where we celebrate the golden era of gaming. My name is Mr. Zolsta, your guide through gaming's greatest gems. Buckle up, as the time machine is ready to launch. Released in 1999 for the original PlayStation, Vandal Hearts II is the sequel to Konami's cult classic tactical RPG from 1996. The first game was pretty straightforward. Fast-paced battles, clear-cut story, lots of charm. I really enjoyed it and I called it a must-play tactical RPG. And the sequel went in a different direction. It was developed by the same internal team at Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo, but it took some risks. At the time of the release, the game got pretty mixed reviews. Some praised it for trying to innovate the genre, especially with its unique dual turn system in combat, which we'll get to later. Others criticized it for being overly complicated, a bit dry in its presentation, and lacking the spark of the original. It averaged around 70-75% in review scores depending on the region. Not bad, but not amazing either. A game that clearly left people divided. The story in Vandal Hearts II is actually one of the strong points for me. You play as Joshua, a young man caught in the middle of a civil conflict. The game kicks off with a murder that Joshua gets wrongly blamed for, and things spiral from there. You see him grow up across the years, get pulled into military conflict, politics, and some very personal decisions. It's a pretty grounded tale, more political and less fantastical than a lot of other tactical RPGs. There's still some mystery and fantasy elements, but the focus here is on choices, consequences, and loyalty. There are branching story paths too, depending on how you make certain decisions, which adds replay value. And despite the older presentation, there's something charming about how the story slowly unfolds. But be warned, this is a slow burn. If you're looking for flashy cutscenes or high stakes anime drama right away, this game is more of a slow cooked stew than an instant hit. However, I'm not minding the cutscenes after each battle, as the story was interesting enough, a bit more refreshing than the usual, an evil god or entity want to take over the world. Okay, now let's talk about the combat, because this is where things get really interesting and controversial. Vandal Hearts II uses something called the dual turn system. Basically, every time you move one of your characters, the enemy also moves at the exact same time. It turns every battle into a kind of prediction game, trying to guess where your opponent might go and hoping you don't both end up swinging at air, or worse, walking straight into an ambush. On paper, this sounds really clever, it adds a psychological layer to each move, but in practice, it can feel really frustrating. There were so many moments where I lined up the perfect attack only for the enemy to sidestep it, where I charge forward and get punished for it because I misread what they would do. And here comes my own contradiction. In a way, it is good that both parties are moving at the same time, but making tactical decisions is very difficult as luck plays a big factor. It would help if there would be a turn order indicator to see which unit will move next. That would narrow down the options, but without it, there is just too many variables. I read a bit about people's opinion on Reddit, and a few guys suggested that you could learn the pattern how the enemy moves their turn, but to be honest, when there are many enemy units on the map, it is not easy to keep track of. And even if I know which unit will move next, I cannot predict exactly what that unit will do. And what I found really stupid is that the units are acting like robots. You give a command and they execute it without thinking. It happened many times that both mine and the enemy units started to move, crossed each other's path and went to hit the empty space where each of them started, and surprise surprise, the hit was missed. It's not a broken or bad system, but it's definitely not for everyone. Some people absolutely love it. They say it makes battles more strategic, more tense, and I get that. But for me, it honestly pulled me out of the experience. I found myself frustrated during the fights instead of enjoying them. And that's rough, because I love tactical RPGs. Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Ogre, Fire Emblem, I love all of them. But here, the combat was too frustrating for me. Or maybe I just don't get the point how to really take advantage of this battle system. So please let me know in the comments section what did I missed. Another thing which is different in Vandal Hearts II is how much freedom you have when it comes to building your characters. There aren't any logged in classes here. Every character is basically a blank slate. You equip weapons, and those weapons determine the skills you learn and the role you play in battles. Want a healer with a sword? You can do that. Want a ranged attacker who also casts magic? Go for it. The system lets you experiment, and if you're the kind of player who loves tinkering and theory crafting, there's a lot of room to play around. You even unlock different skills as you use weapons more, and those skills can be mixed and matched later. The magic system is tied to these too. Instead of having mages by default, magic comes from spells that are attached to a weapon you equip. There are elemental affinities like fire, water, earth, and so on. And each weapon gives you access to certain spells. The more you use them, the more proficient your character becomes. It's a bit grindy if you want to max things out, but again, total freedom to build your party your way. I think this system is really ahead of its time. Even though I didn't love the combat mechanics, I appreciated being able to create unique builds and not feel boxed into roles. It rewards creativity, and that's something a lot of games, even modern games, struggle to pull off. So, where does that leave Vandal Hearts II? It's a game with ambition. It tells a mature, branching story with some pretty solid writing. It's got that PS1 charm, the music, the sound effects, even the pixelated portraits. And the combat system? Unique, no doubt, but also divisive. I haven't finished the game, and I don't say that lightly. Usually I push through most tactical RPGs, even the hard ones. But something about the flow of battles in Vandal Hearts 2 made it hard for me to stay engaged. That said, I don't think it's a bad game. It's not. It's just not for everyone. If you're curious about it, I say give it a shot, don't miss this. Especially if you're a fan of strategy games and want something different. You might going to love it, and you are going to finish the game. And now, let me know what do you think about Vandal Hearts 2. Have you played it? Did you love it? Let me know in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed this time travel back to the golden era of gaming. If you're not a member of our retro gaming community, join us by subscribing. Also, the YouTube algorithm shows some videos for you. It is on the screen now. Check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Backlog Quest video.